In this video, we are going to talk about 3 methods for leveling up gems quickly so that you can sell them for a massive profit or use them for yourselves, and how you can make a nice amount of profit on the side while you're doing this. So we're going to go over leveling up gems quick and profiting for it. Stick around. Hello friends, this is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and welcome to a Path of Exile video about leveling up gems and making some currency. If you have any other methods for leveling gems or making currency while leveling gems, you can let me know in the comment section below. If you've ever tried any of these methods out in a dedicated manner, let me know as well. I'd be interested in hearing about that. And if you want to help out the channel, you can do so by liking the video and checking out my link for Patreon in the description below and at the end of the video. If you want to see the build that is featured in the gameplay footage, I'll also put a link in the description below for my video talking about my Cyclone Slayer. Alright, before we get started, we're going to need a couple of things. We're going to need some gems. These can be gotten from Lily Roth at the end of the game, Lily Roth in Act 6, the library quest in Act 3, or you can just pick them up when you get them from quest rewards and then go to whatever the jewelry vendor is, go to the second page and pick up the gems that way. And you're going to be able to level 6, and what you do is you simply put weapons in your offhand. In this case, I'm leveling up Cyclones because that is the most valuable gem and the most meta of the skills, and I'm currently running Cyclone myself and I want to try to make a 2120 Cyclone. So we'll be getting that, and once you have your 2 one-handed weapon or 1 6-slotted two-handed weapon, but I think it's a little bit better to do 2 one-handed weapons so you can go ahead and get those jeweler's orbs. You put all your gems in there and they will continue to level up while you have your main weapon on. So you can go ahead and keep those going. Next, the next thing you'll want to know how to do is flipping your gems. Once your gems reach level 20, my Impale's about to do so here. I don't have any current, okay, here you go. Infused channeling, level 20. So what you can do is you grab 1 gem cutter's prism and you go to a store, sell items. You can take your level 20 gem and 1 gem cutter's prism, and it will reset the gem to level 1 and it will become 20 quality, which is really important. And from there you can simply level it up again and you'll have a 2020 gem. If you want to try to vol it to 21, once you do that, you can get that going. So really useful, and that's what we're going to be doing with all these Cyclones. Once they hit 20, we're going to go ahead and flip them all with the GCPs, get them to 20% quality, then we're going to level them all over again. And this is a very time-consuming thing. However, currently Cyclone 2120s are selling for 1.5 exalts a piece. So if we get lucky and get like 2 of them, then we made 3 exalts from the process. It's difficult to make 3 exalts as it is, so this is a nice reliable way to make currency. Even if they happen to be 2020, they're still fairly valuable. Currently, I'm gonna have to pull this up. I didn't have it prepared. But currently, they're still going for 5 chaos, so even if you brick it, you still make 5 chaos back on your effort. You might get a Vol Cyclone, a 20% quality level 20 Vol Cyclone. That might be worth more, so doing it with Vol Gems just makes it that little bit better. So pretty nice way there. That's all you'll need to get going. Let's get into the tips proper. Alright, tip number 1 is one we've been seeing in the background since the beginning of this video. It is to do its Ziri run. And the build I currently have, my Cyclone Slayer, is very good for doing this. And it is very reliable and quick, as you can see. And at Ziri, the reason we want to do this is because all of the mobs leading up to the bosses are blue mobs, which are worth 4 times as much experience as normal, and there are a lot of them in Ziri. Not only that, but you can make a lot of currency while doing this because the Atziri uniques that are dropped are actually very valuable, especially in the beginning of leagues, but throughout the leagues they'll still sell fairly quickly. And most importantly, because we are currently in a melee meta, and people want to farm Atziri's Disfavor, which drops from Uber Atziri, the fragments, the Mortal Hope, all the different Mortal fragments are actually selling for quite a lot of currency. Some of them are selling for 34, 35 chaos a piece. They're fairly common. Even the more common ones are selling for a couple of chaos, a few chaos. I believe the cheapest one is currently selling for, well, it looks like most of them are selling for at least 12 chaos. Mortal Rage is selling for 12 chaos. Mortal Hope, 32. Mortal Ignorance, 33.6. And the Mortal Grief is 6. So minimum of 6 chaos if you get them. They are fairly common. I've done like 10 Atziri runs, 12 Atziri runs maybe so far this league. And I've already got 6 fragments to drop. I'm sitting on something like 109 chaos worth of fragments for this, so it's really nice for making currency. Other items that drop are going to be Atziri's Step, which usually sells for a decent amount, especially in the beginning of the league, but generally stays pretty reliable. Atziri's Promise, and I believe the weapon is Doriani's Catalyst, the Mace, which is currently only like 6 or 7 chaos, but even if you get that, it's usually pretty valuable. You'll also get a lot of low tier maps, so this is great in the beginning of the league. When you want to start getting your Atlas going, you'll just get a ton of map drops from the Atziri runs. You'll notice your gem experience shoots up really fast. If you're low enough level to be still getting experience from Atziri, you will also level up very fast yourself on this. I started doing Atziri runs at level 75, and I leveled up very, very quickly, so this is a great thing to do. So, tip number 1, do Atziri runs. Alright, tip number 2 is going to require a little setup. Preferably you're running a character that can run every single map mod. Cyclone Slayer, once again, can run every map mod because I'm immune to physical reflect. Don't do any elemental damage. I leech, so regen isn't an issue. So generally speaking, I can do every single kind of map mod. Minus max resist is a little annoying, but I have a big enough health pool, like 6.1k, to where generally, unless it's a very high tier map, I'm absolutely fine. And that is to run your maps that, and this is pretty obvious, but you're going to want to start preparing for step 3, and you'll probably guess what it is, by gathering a lot of sulfite for delves, running your map specifically to get Nico to spawn. And when you do get Nico to spawn, and just generally speaking, you want to run these maps as high quantity and monster pack size as possible. So you're going to want to make sure that you get a lot of quantity on there. Just roll them so that they're very high, because it'll give you your sulfite scales with the quantity of the map. You also want a lot of pack size. And nice thing about Legion is you get a ton of free pack size if you're running a very quick clear build. There's all sorts of them running around, like your Essence Drain Contagion. Even Cyclone's very fast, although it's not going to beat some of the other ones out there. Essence Drain Contagion's the huge one, but also like Scourge Arrow, Lightning Trap. There are all sorts of, almost any bow build, Tornado Shot with a lot of Pierce. You're going to get a lot more clear on these. And they add a ton of pack size. You can kill hundreds of extra monsters per map because of Legion, and it is incredible. So just mapping is going to level up your gems much faster than before, provided you're playing Legion League. Hopefully they add that into core. You can also get additional packs by putting different Zana modifiers onto the map. So you can get additional monsters with Ambush, you can get additional monsters with Abyss. Of course, if you do Bloodlines, it'll also add additional blue monsters, and you can also use Sextants. So basically, souping up your maps, particularly souping up ones that you know Sulfite will spawn on, is incredibly important. And will bring us to tip number 3, which I'll just go right into. Tip number 3 is Delves. Delves have an incredible, unbelievable monster density. you'll notice that you can level up in delves way faster than you do anywhere else, and the same goes for your gems. Now, one of the things you can do, this is a strategy I employed at the beginning of the league, and you can do this on a much higher level character even, is that you can delve around monster level 65, in between 60, 65, maybe all the way up to 70, and the sulfite cost is going to be incredibly low for delving. And you'll be able to build up your sulfite in these higher tier maps once you can delve normally to make sure you get enough azurite to upgrade to have a high sulfite capacity. And then you can delve sideways forever. I mean, you can spend like a whole day doing this. And what I did in the meantime while I was doing this is, since the rares I was getting were kind of too low level to have good rolls on them, I was simply picking them up unidentified, throwing them in stash tabs, doing the chaos recipe, getting 2 chaos per. You also can get a lot of fragments, like Xeri fragments. That's how I got so many fragments to do this. And you want to run to all of the currency and general item, as well as the jewelry nodes. And, you know, anything in between. If you can get some Vol outposts, that kind of thing, that's great. But you just want to delve sideways at these relatively low levels. You're going to just, I currently have something like 15,000 sulfite. If I want to do this, a lot of my delves cost like 50 to 100 per delve, which is super cheap. You're going to be in there all day. It's super satisfying. You can make a lot of extra chaos while you're doing this. You can get a lot of extra interesting things like delve specific rares. You can get the fragments, you can get essences. There's all sorts of good stuff you can get, and lots of currency while you're doing this. So this is a great way to make a huge profit. Of course, if you want to level up, you can go deeper, but you do get tons of gem experience simply by killing these low level monsters, because even if you're getting like 1 or 2% of the experience that you would normally get, your gems are still getting the full experience. So by being able to stay in this extremely high monster density delves for an extremely long period of time, you're going to be leveling these up way faster than if you were mapping. So you can map in preparation, and of course you use all of these techniques in tandem. You kind of cycle from one to another, and it leads to very quick gem leveling, a decent amount of experience, and lots of loot and currency. So that is going to be it. I'm going to give a quick shout out to my patron Ty. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for your generous contribution. If you want to contribute as well, up in the top right corner there will be a Patreon link. I'd appreciate that. Otherwise, here are 2 videos that I think you would enjoy, and click on those. This has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and I will see you next time. Bye.